because we got to record our conversation this morning with Jon Mozes from the Altoona Curve. It's brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. John, good morning.
Good morning.
And we were talking last week about coming back from a road trip to Altoona. What's Monday like for you? Is it travel day, or do you go on the day of the game?
I think for this trip, the team is traveling on the day of the game. We're headed to Hartford, Connecticut this week.
Yeah, that's a bit of a trip, but it's a nice trip. It's a good drive. We just made it a couple of years ago when we were on vacation. Hey, this past week has not been altogether stellar for the Curve. Some struggles this week, but that'll happen, won't it, in Double-A?
Yeah, sometimes you play a team that has a lot of veteran players like Harrisburg does, and those veteran guys come through, as we saw this week. They've got 3 guys on their roster that have more than 400 games worth of Double-A experience, and it came through with a couple of big swings, played some close games, and Harrisburg came out ahead.
Take me back to Saturday night and what might have been a home run. Was it Cal Mitchell hit that ball?
Yeah. The Curve have had a couple of plays this year where it seems like they've taken away home runs, and finally it seemed like one got taken away from them. 4-1 game in the 8th inning on Saturday night, and Brendt Citta hits a ball to dead center field in the 8th inning, and it looked like here comes the game-tying home run. But heck, what a grab by Cole Freeman right against the wall. And, it's the baseball gods. It's how it's going to go sometimes. Once you make a great play, the other team will make a great play once the season rolls on a little bit. Yeah,
that'll happen. And these young guys from the Curve, they're learning these things as well. Had a couple of new guys come into the Curve here in the last couple of weeks as well. Promoted from Class A, and actually a guy returning from Indianapolis to the Curve as well. So you'll get a little veteran, a little bit of rookies coming up there and getting some experience at Double-A too, huh?
Yeah, getting Omar Cruz, who was one of the players that came over in the Pirates trade away of Joe Musgrove in the offseason. Cruz looked very good. This was Friday night. Not a very tall guy, left-hand pitcher, about 6 feet tall, but moved the ball around very well, commanded it through that curveball for strikes, went 6 innings, which is a career high for him, allowed just 1 unearned run, and, I love a guy that works at a quick pace like Omar does. There's no wasted time between pitches. He gets the sign, goes right again. Working with Jason DeLay behind the plate, who was with the Curve in 2019, it's nice to have another guy back there that has so much experience at this level. So it's definitely solid to get some of those young guys that come up for the first time, along with some guys that have a little bit of experience. It's a nice mix.
Well, Omar Cruz, we tend to categorize guys. He's a power pitcher. He's a finesse pitcher. Does he fit either of those categories, or is he in between?
He's a little bit in between. I mean, he'll throw his fastest fastball around 91, 92 miles an hour. But he beats guys with command and control and sequencing of pitches. It was a very impressive first outing, and we'll see how long he's able to hold on, because the Curve are expecting to get Osvaldo Bido back from the Dominican Republic. He was pitching for the Olympic qualifier team for the Dominican last week, and the DR is headed to the Olympics. So congratulations to Osvaldo and his teammates, and we'll see if Bido ends up getting the call to go to Tokyo later this summer.
How about that? That'd be fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of an experience would that be for him? Meantime, does he come back to the Curve before they reconstitute themselves and move back, or how's that work?
Yeah, it looks like it, because I'm pretty sure the baseball games for the Olympics will probably be the 3rd week of July. So if Bido ends up getting selected, I presume there's going to be like 2 or 3 turns through the rotation that he'll have a chance to pitch again for the Curve before heading out west, or to the Far East, I should say, for a couple of weeks this summer. And it would be very cool for Osvaldo and for a Curve player to get the chance to play in the Olympics.
A couple of guys that we have talked about before, and I mentioned one, Cal Mitchell, a couple of moments ago, and you mentioned Brendt Citta. Those guys continue to hit.
Yeah, there's something incredible about this team, right? There's the prospect names that we're familiar with, Rodolfo Castro, O'Neal Cruz, Mason Martin, but they have just such solid players at other spots like Kanan Smith and Jigba and Cal Mitchell and Brendt Citta, and those guys provided depth to the lineup, which gives Altoona a chance to win just about every night, because they're getting very good at bats 1 through 9 in the batting order, and nearly every inning they're a threat to score at least 2 runs, and that's one reason they've had so much success to start the year.
I think it's really interesting to watch, as you said, this mix of guys who are termed as big-time prospects for the Pirates. I think you'd throw Mason Martin into that group as well. And guys that people say, well, I don't have a lot of expectations. He's a depth player. He's a guy that might have a chance as a utility player at the big league level. If you stay hot at Altoona, you get the call eventually to Indianapolis, and you stay hot there, well, then you're just a step away from Pittsburgh. And really at Double-A, there's a lot of guys that get the chance to step up to the big club as well, or not a lot of them, but some do. And it's really interesting to watch who is considered a prospect and who is not considered a prospect. And then you get eyes on them and you say, well, maybe this guy's a little bit miscategorized.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of watching Double-A baseball is that, if you can play well at Double-A, it's usually enough for people to say, okay, there's a chance he could have some success in the big leagues. So, it's always been the long time mark of Double-A baseball is that it's a little bit of the prove it level, where if you can play well there, you can end up in the big leagues and have some success. So it's always interesting to see which guys sort of surprise you based on the expectations about what you read about or who says who's good. Until you see it with your own eyes, then you're not really knowing for sure. But it's nice to see some of those guys surprise each year and build themselves into nice professional careers.
They do talk about the eye test, and if you can pass it at that Double-A level, then all of a sudden people take a new look at you. So we're, by the way, talking with Jon Mozes from the Altoona Curve. You're going to take this trip to Hartford. You're going to play. Are they still the Rock Cats?
They are the Yard Goats.
Now they're the Yard Goats? Okay. Are the
Yes.
Rock Cats still around?
They used to be. They transferred from New Britain, Connecticut to Hartford, Connecticut. This would have been before the 2016 season when they rebranded to the Hartford Yard Goats.
All right. The Yard Goats for this 6-game series. And then you're back home, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're home for 2 weeks in the month of July, where we'll have the Indians affiliate and then Binghamton, the New York Mets affiliate, coming in back-to-back here in the middle of July. And those will be good tests for Altoona. Akron's another team that has played well at the top of the Southwest Division, and it's always exciting to see what the Mets have on the way. They've got a couple of interesting players, so a lot of fireworks. We've got our awful night coming up in the first week in the first stretch of that homestand.
What's that?
Well, we put together some really awful promotions.
Oh yeah.
We'll have a team poster giveaway for the 2020 Altoona Curve, and I'm pretty sure the team poster is a picture of empty chairs on the field, as if it's a team picture for a season that did not occur. We'll put together some pretty awful promotions, and it'll just be a fun night overall. I look forward to having some awful puns on the broadcast at some point.
There you go. That sounds like a lot of fun. Folks want to get their Curve tickets, they can do that anytime, right?
That's right, 877-99-CURVE or online at altoonacurve.com.
He is Jon Mozes, Altoona Curve. Thanks for letting me bother you for another Monday morning.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You too. We'll see you. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 FM.